Hello, and welcome to the Training for Recycling. Today we are going to be covering the topic of universal waste. The Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, or RCRA, was enacted in 1976. It was the first hazardous waste regulations that were introduced in the United States. These regulations separated household trash from industrial waste. These regulations protect humans and the environment, conserve energy and natural resources, reduce waste, and enforce proper waste management. So, what is hazardous waste? Hazardous waste is ignitable and can create fires under certain conditions. It can be spontaneously combustible. Examples can include waste oils and used solvents. Hazardous waste is corrosive, which means it is acidic and erosion can occur. Corrosive wastes are acids and bases that are capable of corroding metal containers. An example of this is battery acid in automobiles. Hazardous wastes react violently with water. Reactive wastes are unstable under normal conditions. They can cause explosions, toxic fumes, gases, or vapors when heated, compressed, or mixed with water. Some examples can be lithium-sulfur batteries and explosives. Hazardous waste is toxic. Toxic wastes are harmful or fatal when ingested or absorbed. Mercury, for example, is toxic and very poisonous. There are different types of universal waste. We will focus on 4 of the most common at Central Michigan University: batteries, fluorescent lamps, compact fluorescent lamps, and high-intensity discharge lamps. Batteries. Dry cell batteries can be found in automobiles, lawnmowers, portable radios, and more. Fluorescent lamps. CMU purchases low mercury containing lamps. All fluorescent lamps contain some amount of mercury. Compact fluorescent lamps, or CFLs, are more efficient and energy saving. They were designed to replace incandescent lamps, or traditional light bulbs. High-intensity discharge. High-intensity discharge lamps are used typically when high levels of light are needed over large areas. These areas can include parking lots, stadiums, and gymnasiums. High-intensity discharge lamps include mercury.
Central Michigan University. CMU is considered a small quantity generator of fluorescent lamps and compact fluorescent lamps. A small quantity generator is classified as 220 pounds to less than 2,200 pounds. Accumulation never exceeds 13,200 pounds. CMU is considered a large quantity generator of electronic waste. A large quantity generator is classified as accumulating more than 5,000 kilograms or 11,000 pounds or more of universal waste at any time. Training is necessary when any entity is considered a large quantity generator of any waste. Mercury. How much mercury is in a single fluorescent light bulb? The amount of mercury you would be exposed to if a fluorescent light bulb were to break would be equal to about 1 or 2 cans of tuna. It is not likely you'll become ill from exposure to one broken fluorescent light bulb. Clean up and broken light bulbs. Whether you're cleaning up a single bulb or multiple bulbs, there are important steps you need to take in order to ensure the job is done properly. Before you are ready to clean up the broken bulbs, you must first make sure the people and pets have left the room. Next, air out the room for 5 to 10 minutes by opening a window or door to the outdoors. You also need to make sure to turn off all air conditioning and heating units. These steps are important because, as mentioned before, mercury is toxic. There are certain materials that must be used in the proper cleanup of broken bulbs, such as stiff paper or cardboard, sticky tape, damp paper towels or disposable wet wipes, and a glass jar with a metal lid or a sealable plastic bag. During your cleanup procedure, it is very important not to use a vacuum. The use of a vacuum is only recommended after all other cleanup steps have been taken. This is important because vacuuming can spread the mercury vapor around the room. You should also be very thorough in collecting broken glass and visible powder. The first step is to scoop the broken glass fragments and powder using the stiff paper or cardboard. Next, use a sticky tape such as duct tape to pick up all remaining glass fragments and powder. Lastly, place the used tape in a glass jar or plastic bag and put in the designated area.
The cleanup procedure for carpeting or rugs is the same procedure as mentioned before, But also keep in mind not to vacuum unless broken glass remains after all other cleanup steps have been taken. If available, you should vacuum the area where the light bulb was broken using the vacuum hose. After finishing, remove the vacuum bag and wipe the canister. Then seal the debris and any materials used during cleanup or used to clean the vacuum and place in a plastic bag. As mentioned before, place the bag in a designated area. If you happen to break multiple bulbs, you must call EHS immediately and please clear the area. Here is a dramatization of the cleanup procedure.
Evacuate the building. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. Evacuate the building. The building has been secured. It is now safe to return to your workplaces.
Clothing and bedding. EHS will deal with this on a case-by-case basis. Storage. To prevent from breakage, leaks, weather, physical damage, vandals, and fire, the area where the electric lamps are accumulated should be protected as appropriate for the type of waste being stored. All boxes, containers, and labels need to be sealed and labeled properly. So, why do we recycle? Recycling is socially responsible and benefits the university in many more ways than just financially. Recycling requires less steps than does the disposal of hazardous waste. Disposal of hazardous waste can be very expensive, up to $25 a pound, and we can't put everything in the ground. So, in conclusion, today we talked about universal waste, the different types of hazardous waste, and the cleanup and storage procedures for batteries and broken bulbs. So, who are you going to call?
EHS!